Greetings, I'm Patrick Quillin, and you and I are getting healthier together. I'd like to share with you some ideas about weight loss and weight maintenance that might be useful. Americans are getting fatter, and there's a problem there. Right now, 2016, 2/3 of Americans and most people in Western society are overweight. 1/3 of those Americans are medically obese, and this obesity leads to all kinds of problems, increased risk for some cancers, for heart disease, for diabetes dramatically, for Alzheimer's, for gallstones, etc. So the need to lower that weight is very clear, and it's a $30 billion a year industry. Those are the supplements and various gimmicks that are sold to people who are overweight and trying to lose weight. There's some very simple problems, simple solutions to those problems. In the 1970s and 80s, the experts told us that just don't eat any fat. There was a Stop the Insanity book. Don't eat any fat, you won't get fat. And so they substituted fat, came out, and simple carbohydrates were inserted. And with that dramatic increase in the intake of simple carbohydrates, we're talking about sucrose, high fructose corn syrup, basically sugary foods, desserts, came a dramatic increase in the incidence of obesity. And here's where it gets interesting. The average American is consuming in the neighborhood of 45 gallons of soft drinks a year. Think of an aquarium that you would find at PetSmart, 45 gallon. The average person's drinking that per year, and I don't drink any, so somebody else is drinking 90 gallons to make up the statistical average. Here's the problem. The wrong foods, too much of it, sedentary lifestyle, and then it becomes self-perpetuating. Let me give you a few tips that might help. First of all, in order to get momentum going, it's going to take some effort. Rocket scientists told us that it takes about 17,000 miles per hour for a rocket to reach escape velocity. And so in other words, here's a rocket struggling against the gravitational pull of the Earth. But once it gets up away from that gravitational pull, now maintaining it is fairly easy. A satellite in space does not require that much energy. I want to talk about you and how you're going to get lean and stay there. There's a shift. There's a definite need for momentum because the food marketers know that the foods that you've been eating are addictive. Studies have actually shown that these sugary foods and fast foods hit areas of the brain almost the same as cocaine. And so they become, it induces a certain pleasure, and it induces an addiction. So first of all, realize you're going to have to beat an addiction. No two ways about that. But it will be much easier if you'll follow a couple of simple tips. Number one, you need to eat some fat in the diet and take all the sugar out. Fruits and vegetables are wonderful. Grains and legumes are wonderful. Meats, having some dairy such as Swiss cheese or yogurt without any sugar is all good food. But let's all talk about olive oil is going to be a fat that makes you lean. And there's unquestionable studies now showing that the incredible rise in the intake of simple carbohydrates in the American diet was one of the main factors that led to the obesity epidemic. And so replacing some of that sugary foods with, for instance, a salad that's got some olive oil and some fish or chicken in there with some artichoke hearts and some olives and some other vegetables, and you'll find that it's very filling and it helps you to lose weight because you're getting fiber and fluid out of it. Another thing here is curry. Curry is a mixture of herbs, and in curry is turmeric. And turmeric is a substance that's been shown to help induce leanness. Societies that eat more turmeric have a much lower incidence of obesity. Green tea. Green tea is a beverage that, once again, the ECGC in it is an active ingredient that helps to induce leanness. And there's this complex interplay in the body that talks about what causes obesity, and there's hormones and leptin and appetite and stimulus, and food, of course, is more than just biochemistry to fill up our stomach and make sure that we live nutritionally. For many people, it's gratification, and this is where some other simple tips come in. Meditation. For many people, food is somewhat of a Xanax. It's an anxiolytic drug. It is something that helps to calm them down. There are over 500 studies showing that meditation can lower the risk for anxiety, recidivism, meaning people who get out of jail and go back to jail, heart disease, elevated blood glucose, elevated serum lipids, Alzheimer's disease. Meditation is one of these techniques where if it was a drug, the company that owns the patent would be a multi-billion-dollar IPO. But it's simple, it's non-toxic, and it's free to you. Meditation. Go to the web, find yourself a friend who can help you. 5 to 20 minutes a day will dramatically make you more relaxed so that you're not using food as a drug for anxiety. And then the last simple tip here is exercise. Something as simple as walking. Do you know that only 10% of the people who join a gym use their membership regularly? What I'm suggesting is you don't need a partner. You don't need anything more than a decent pair of shoes. Take a couple of soup cans or maybe some 5-pound weights and go out and churn your way around the neighborhood and watch. A pound a week is all you need to lose. You get down to a reasonable level, and then that is self-perpetuating. So I talked about the idea of escape velocity. Once that rocket ship gets up above the Earth's gravitational pull, that satellite can maintain its orbit with very little effort. And that's what you're going to do when you get lean, and you and I are getting healthier together. I'm Patrick Quillin.